Okay, just wanted to start out by saying that our players and our coaches are extremely excited. It's the first day of practice. Our guys are ready to get out there and get after it. Spring goals are pretty simple this year. Get right to the point. Just for our players, we just want a base understanding of the fundamentals and techniques for the offense, defense, and special teams. From a coach's standpoint, our goal is to try to get a two deep by the end of spring. More importantly, to get them in positions so they can really get better during the summer with their base fundamentals and everything that goes with it. Our theme this year is earn it. It's as simple as that. Earn your teammates' respect, earn your coaches' respect, earn it every day on the field and off the field. So our players come up with that, and I think came up with that, and I think it's very appropriate. Very excited about our staff this year. Coach Steele and our defensive staff's really gelling, doing a great job working together. They're excited to get out on the field and coach the defensive guys. Our offensive staff, I'm very excited about this group. Very unique. Each one of our offensive coaches has expertise in what we're doing. Our offense is a unique offense, and everybody on our offensive staff has either played in the offense and been very successful or been with us a long time and know the ins and outs of everything. Just off the field updates, our GAs, we've got 4 new GAs. On the offensive side, Jonathan Wass, which all of you know, he's going to be an excellent coach. Austin Tucker was the offense coordinator at Hewitt Trussville. We think he's going to do a great job for us defensively. Craig Sanders played for us in 2013. We feel great about Craig. Ishmael Aristide is going to be working with our defensive backs. We're excited about him. From our analyst position, offensively, Johnny Brewer has been a GA for the last 3 years, moved up to analyst. Really just felt real strong that have somebody that can really help our GAs, especially 2 new guys. We think he'll do a good job with that. Jeff Nord is going to be working with Tim Horton with our running backs. He was with us last year. And then Eric Munoz, been with us for 3 years. Does a great job. He's going to be helping Coach Fountain with the special teams. Defensively, Rob Coleman is going to be working with the linebackers. He's a guy that started out coaching with me in 1991 back at Hughes High School. Brandon Wheeling was a GA the last 3 years, just like Johnny. Moved him up. We think he'll do a good job helping our GAs with the transition. Devin Dakota is a guy that worked with Coach Steele last year. He's going to be his right-hand man as far as that goes. But feel very good about that group. Player updates. Chris Lay is no longer with the team. Chris is going to finish his degree here at Auburn. He's a fine young man. He's going to have a bright future. Javier Mitchell is a guy that's graduated, and he's chose not to come back for next year. Javier is he's ready to start his life and his career. He did a great job for us the last 3 years, but both those young men are fine young men, and they're going to be very successful in life. As far as some injured guys that's going to be out for the spring, Trey Matthews will be out with a shoulder injury. Kerryon Johnson had surgery. He will be out the spring. And then Jeremiah Denson will be out for the spring. Now, on a limited basis, Josh Holsey will be limited. Stanton Truitt will be limited, but they'll be participating as far as that goes. But that's the update on our coaches, our off-the-field guys, and our players. But overall, I'd just say our guys are extremely excited to get out there. They've done a super job up to this point with our mat drills in the weight room. You can tell this is a very close group. You can also tell that they got a chip on their shoulder from last year, which I think is very healthy. Last year we had a very inexperienced team, and we had some close losses and all that. But these guys, a lot of them are coming back, and they're looking forward to getting out there and redeeming themselves. And I think that's very important moving forward. As far as spring practice is concerned, we're going to go Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We will do that for 2 weeks. We'll have 5 practices. We'll go ahead and take a break during spring break, and then we will come back and we will have 10 practices after that. So our coaches and our players, like I said, we're excited. We think we're in a good spot getting ready for spring. So, all right, any questions?
Gus, do you remember having a position as thin with experience as you are at linebacker now, especially with Hobby not coming back?
Yeah, we got some young guys, that they're inexperienced. Trey Williams is the one guy that he's kind of the veteran of the group right now. And but we feel good about these young guys, and there's nothing better than getting reps in the spring. And all those young guys are going to have an opportunity to show what they can do. And of course, we've got some guys we feel very good about.
Coach, talk about the players having a chip on their shoulder about last year. Does their coach have a chip on his shoulder?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. That's why I'm excited to get out there. And, it's a new year. It's a new year. And from a coach's standpoint, especially a head coach's standpoint, you evaluate the things that, from last year that you need to improve on. And we know what they are, and we're going to go out there and redeem ourselves. And so, me personally, I'm excited to get on the practice field.
Gus, what's your plan for the quarterback reps and how you go through those out among the 4 guys?
Yeah, we're going to start out, and they're going to have equal reps. We've done that in the past. We'll chart everything that they do in team settings, 7-on-7 setting. Give them all a chance to compete. Competition brings out the best in everyone, and my experience is the longer spring goes on, and you put the guys in different situations, and I'm not going to rule out the chance of going live in spring. We did that 2 weeks before our season in 2013, and it cleared up things in a hurry. So we'll see, and me and Rhett will evaluate that position on a daily basis.
What have you seen, just obviously I haven't seen him on the field, but John Franklin, as far as his approach to things?
Yeah, he's off to a good start with Coach Russell. He had good mat drills, with our coaches. I think he is a guy that is very eager. He's done a good job so far of just being a good teammate, getting to know his teammates, and so we'll see what he does.
You surround yourself with a lot of familiar names, whether it's graduate assistants, analysts, and you bring up Rob Coleman, a guy you've known for your entire coaching career. Can you maybe tell me the pros and cons of doing that, and why you bring so many familiar names in with yourself?
Well, Rob is a guy that was with me when we first started out. From a coach, sometimes you look, and the guys that helped you get to where you're at, he's one of those guys. And, he had a great high school career, won a lot of state championships, and he was just ready to take the next step to college. He'll do very well. As far as being, comfortable and having guys that have been with you, I think there's great value to that. Guys that, know how you operate, played in our system. A lot of them have played, and a lot of guys just been with me a long time. And I think there's something to that, and it's a comfort. And like I said earlier, our offense is unique, okay? And the more expertise that you have doing something is nothing but a positive. I'm very excited about this offensive staff and very comfortable.
Was there an issue at all last season with that, just as far as everybody being on the same page?
No.
Gus, are you going to make it a point to push tempo more this coming season?
Yeah, that is one of the things that, we've got to, you get a chance to evaluate everything, and tempo is a big factor with us. And at times we didn't have great tempo last year, and so we will play extremely fast in the spring and just get our guys back in that mode. And so looking forward to doing that too.
How is Tyler Queen's health, and is he going to be limited anymore?
Yeah, he will be like on a pitch count of, I think, 50 throws a day. But everything else he'll be ready to go, and that's still a lot of throws, and that's after he warms up. So Coach Lashley will definitely keep up with that. But he's in a good spot right now. He's excited to get out there and get back, participating.
Soon at a time. Go ahead.
The mentality that you've seen and the feedback you've gotten on the mindsets of Jeremy and Sean, who obviously didn't have the seasons they hoped for.
Yeah, well, both those guys are, looking forward to a fresh start during spring. Both of them are looking to compete, and that's the great thing about it. Right now, we'll have good competition in that room, and everything they do, we'll make sure we chart, we grade everything, and see what comes of it. But my experience is when you got good competition, it brings out the best in everybody, and I expect that quarterback room to do that, this spring.
Given the time that Jeremy has been here, and considering what happened last year, what are you looking for him to do this spring?
Well, I think Jeremy's just in a spot where, he's ready to get back out there and just, it's a new year, and he's done a good job of putting last year and even when he was successful, he's put that behind him. He is laser focused moving forward, and, I think there's some freshness with that, and he's got that look, and Sean's got that look too. That was last year. This is a new year, and that's what we've been preaching to our guys. And you can use those things as far as having that chip on your shoulder to help motivate you. But they're moving forward, and they're looking forward. And this is a new team, and there's new dynamics to it.
Gus, are there any positions changes going into spring you're looking at right now?
Not right now, but take the offensive line for an example. We will be moving some guys around, especially the first 5 days. Coach Hand has a good plan to give guys different opportunities, and then hopefully after we come back for spring break, we'll have a little bit more, position specific once we come back. As far as the rest of the offense, you could see Chandler Cox and Petway getting some reps at tailback. Both those guys played some of that in high school, and we're just wanting to get more depth at that position. As far as defense goes, everything should be status quo the way that the way they ended. But at the same time, Coach Steele's got the flexibility to look at some things during spring.
Gus, did Devin Adams join the team as a walk-on quarterback, and does he help out at all?
Yes, he will be a walk-on quarterback, and we'll see what he can do.
Among those 9 newcomers, what's the feedback you received from Coach Russell on them, and what's your plan with them the first couple of weeks?
But the good thing is, the 9 guys that came in, we have more information about those guys. I've been very impressed personally with the way they've responded to our mat drills, the way they responded to Coach Russell. He's been impressed too, because a lot of times, they're getting into something new. Their heads are spinning with everything that goes on, but there's a lot of maturity with that group, and that's a good thing. So we're excited about spring practice, seeing how they get out there and compete, and there's quite a few of those guys that could help us next year. So we'll know more after spring, but we feel very good about the group, and we've got great reports about how they're doing off the field too, academically, socially, everything that goes with it.
Is Kyle Davis the guy who could compete immediately out there once he gets out there?
He's got the ability. He's got that ability that could definitely help us next year. But kind of comes back to what I said, just the earn it attitude, and he understands that.
Yes, with so much transition on defense, coaching-wise, do you anticipate a little bit of feeling out adjustment period for your coaching staff, or do you feel like they know how you guys want to practice and can get right into it?
Yeah, I think so. Coach Steele is a veteran guy, and there is quite a bit of carryover as far as the foundation of our defense last year. But from a coaching standpoint, there's nothing better than getting out there and competing against each other and getting used to working together. But all those guys are true professionals, and they're all going in the same direction. That's what's exciting for me.
Kyle Davis be limited at all with his shoulder. Kyle Davis limited at all with his shoulder.
He could be limited some. We're going to see how that happens, but he has really done a good job with his transition from his minor, surgery early in the year.
Can you, with the new coaches and all those things on defense, how different is it going to be for the players from what they had last year? How hard is it going to be for them to get accustomed to something so new?
Well, that player-coach relationship, there's nothing better than going out on the field and getting used to each other and the expectations, for each position coach. So I will say this, our defensive coaches and our offensive coaches, the new ones that have gotten here, have done a very good job of spending time with our guys, trying to get to know them, developing that relationship, and tell them the expectations. But, there's nothing better than getting out there. And so it'll be good to see that, how our guys respond to each coach and all that.
How different is the defense just schematically?
There's going to be some differences, but the foundation kind of from the same tree, as far as the foundation of the defense, which I think will be very good for our players with the carryover, especially the way that the defense finished the year. I think that'll be a good transition moving forward.
Sorry. Will Herb Hand have more of a hands-on role with the way things go with preparing for the offense? And
Herb is a guy that I have a lot of trust in, just because of our experiences, before. Herb was our co-OC, like I've said before, at Tulsa. We kind of combined some things that first year in 2007 and 2008, and he's a guy that our personalities really complement each other, and even on game day. And so he's a guy that that definitely we can rely on to help us. But at the same time, you can probably say that about each one of our offensive coaches. Tim Horton's been with us for 4 years and has a great understanding of what we're doing. Scott Fountain's been with us for 4 years. And matter of fact, when I was the OC here before, he was in my room for 3 years. So, Rhett played in this offense. Cody played in this offense. So, we've got a very unique group that has a great understanding of our offense, and all those guys will be able to help our offense moving forward. And I got confidence in all of them.
Gus, how do you think missing the spring is going to hurt Carry On at all as far as him trying to win the start running back?
Carry On is a very smart young man. He's football savvy and football smart. And if you look at just last year being a true freshman, he was wildcat, he was a tailback, he was a slot. We had him doing a lot of different things. And he's the type that I do know that, he'll be in every meeting, he'll be focused. So as far as schematically, he'll get it. His challenge is once he's going to be healthy, he's got to get out there in the summer and get back into playing shape and all that. But he's a very football savvy young man.
Gus, will Kevin still coach a position on defense, or is he just going to run between them all?
Yeah, he will. He'll help with our bandits in our Sams and our nickel, but he will, run our defense, and he'll have the opportunity to roam too when he needs to.
You guys signed one of the better wide receiver classes in the country. How did those guys respond when Damian Craig left so soon after signing?
Yeah, I think early on, obviously there was some disappointment, but Cody Burns has done a great job with those guys, and they already knew Cody and knew a lot about him, and they're excited to get in our offense, and they're excited for Cody to coach those guys, and so.
What's been the players' reaction to kind of all the coaching turmoil, just the changes and the new guys coming in? What's been their reaction to all
Our players have responded very well. Like I said, we're going to have a veteran group this year, and they've responded very well. But our new coaches come in and have done an excellent job, like I said, of spending time with them, developing that relationship. The guys that we brought in, a lot of our coaches a lot of our players were already familiar with, which I think makes a big difference as far as that goes.
Will you invite Duke Williams to Pro Day?
What's that?
Will you invite Duke Williams?
Yeah, I'm going to update Pro Day, as it gets closer, probably this weekend, as far as all the different people and the different things that go with that.
Gus, TJ Neal has said he'd like to Skype the linebacker meetings while he's still in Champaign finishing up at Illinois. Do you have a plan for him to kind of get him?
Yeah, I'm not for sure if I can comment on anybody, as far as that until they get here.
What do you want to see from John Franklin through the spring? Kind of, if he's got paper starting job.
Yeah, well, him and the other guys just can they be successful running our offense. I mean, that's really the bottom line. Everything that goes with it, from on the field, off the field, leadership, making your teammates better. The unique thing about our offense, our quarterback's got a chance to really influence the rest of the teammates, and so that's what we'll be looking for.
As far as Herb Hand being here, you guys work together pretty closely at Tulsa. When he's on the headsets during games, will he have more say than, say, JB did last year? Is he a guy you'll be listening to?
Well, first of all, JB Grimes is a great offensive line coach, did a super job for us. And, Herb, just because I've worked with him before, we'll see how things go through spring. Like I said, we worked together. He was my right-hand man up in the booth when we were at Tulsa. We worked very good together. So we'll see how that goes. Right now I want to get through spring first, and then we'll kind of go from there.
How do you describe the personality differences between the two of you?
What's that?
How would you describe the personality differences between the two of you?
Me and Herb?
Yeah.
He's on one end and I'm on the other. I'll tell you that. He's got a personality, you know. He's got a good personality. But we're different. But at the same time, I think our personalities complement each other on the field and off.
Do you understand all of his jokes?
No.
Last year at this time, second year is more than a little bit thin. Do you feel better about it going into the season?
You know, that's a question I'll probably be able to answer a little bit better after spring. We do got some young guys, and we got some guys potentially could be really good. But that's probably a better question to answer after spring, once everything is said and done as far as our depth and everything that goes with that.
Yes, you mentioned one of your goals for the spring is finding more depth on the offensive line. Where do you think, I mean, if he's healthy, that Jordan Diamond can fit into that?
Well, Jordan's a guy that was highly recruited. As a matter of fact, I recruited him back when I was the offensive coordinator here. So he's battled through a lot of injuries. He's had a lot of adversity. You know, he's one of those guys that I'm really hoping this spring that, you know, finds a position and gets confidence in playing and stays healthy. You know, I think that's his biggest thing. So, but we're rooting for him.
What do you think about Harbaugh taking his team down to down to Florida, I'm sorry, for part of his spring practice?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't really have an opinion one way or another. Don't want to get in that deal.
Anything else? All right, Coach.
All right, I'd like to remind everybody to vote.
You did a great job in those videos.